Good morning and welcome to the South Texas TV studios alongside Mr. Every Day's a Monday.
Falling asleep with a switch today.
I'm your host, Brent Carter. Ash and I were having a long discussion in which both of us threatened to go on strike today because it makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense.
It's what the United Auto Workers are doing. Here you got the worst economy in the history of the world, even though Joe Biden claims we've gained 13 million jobs. You got inflation through the roof. You got interest rates so high, people can't even afford to buy cars as it is, and cars cost $100,000. United Auto Workers file strike against Chrysler, GM, and Ford unilaterally, all demanding double-digit pay raises.
Stellantis.
So say you're
Fiat
making
Chrysler.
You're making $95 an hour. Now they want $105 an hour minimum, at least a $10 raise.
Ford says their latest offer was their most lucrative in 80 years.
So
Joe Biden's for the everyman and the union is not for the everyman, because if they were,
they'd say, hey, we're gonna cut our pay a little bit and sell more units and make it up. We want a bonus based on units projected. We're gonna cut our pay a little bit.
They want to restore the pension plans that pretty much broke GM and Chrysler in 2008 when the government had to bail them out.
They want to eliminate tiers. It's wrong to make any worker second class. The Teamsters ended tiers at UPS. We're ending them at the big three. So the guy that puts the lug nuts on, he's at the exact same standard as the guy that builds the engines by hand. No, he's not.
The three CEOs saw their pay spike 40% on average over the last 4 years. And we know our members are worth the same and more, says the United Auto Workers.
Cost of living adjustments made sure that working class thrived for decades. It must be restored. They call it COLA, cost of living adjustments.
All workers deserve the retirement security that UAW members had for generations. They want defined benefit pensions for all workers. They want to reestablish retiree medical benefits.
For life.
It's called Medicare.
No, it's not. No, they deserve the same benefits that they hold the American automobile buyer hostage to get. They deserve those for life. It's like being in the military. You have the VA, you have the GM. You go to the GM hospital forever. GM doesn't have a hospital.
The right to strike over plant closures. The big three have closed 65 plants over the last 20 years. How many of those plants closed, reopened? There's no way there were 65 plants in this country.
And we want to end abuse of temporary workers. We're going to end the abuse of temps. Our fight at the big three is a fight for every worker.
Come on, scabs. Come across those lines and keep our cars coming.
Do these people not sound so out of touch with where we are as a nation right now?
Yeah.
We're struggling just to keep the doors open. You can't get the chips you need from China. Say that 5 times fast.
If companies try to shut down, they say they'll have to pay United Auto Worker members to do community service work.
This is the dumbest timing in the history of negotiations. This is a hostage takeover.
Significantly increased retiree pay.
In other news, Tommy Taylor and Atzenhower Chevrolet have Mazdas and Mitsubishis who are not on strike, many of which are made here in the United States, encouraging you to go by and check them out.
Oh, by the way, as those three automakers strike, what happens when you're not getting parts? I mean, there'll still be parts, but maybe not. No cars.
Right.
Your make-ready guys no longer have to make anything ready. They get laid off. Where's the UAW for them?
They're not there for them because they're not union workers. No. Seeing Patricia Nagel there yesterday, so I went all the way over to see Sheriff Louderback, too, and I absconded with Sheriff Louderback, held him hostage.
We haven't done this yet.
We'll do that in a minute. We can do the weather whenever we want.
It's true.
It's our show. I grabbed Sheriff and Marcy, and we went to watch Caden play in Columbus, and we got there, and they were having the lightning. Anytime lightning strikes within a 10-mile radius, which is a pretty big area.
It is a big area.
You've got 30 minutes of delay, and after about 6:30.
How big is the radius?
10 miles.
Yeah, that's about right.
And they said, okay, we're done. No game today. And but what I noticed was twice, once in El Campo and once either in Columbus or Garwood, First State Bank. Past 2 branches. Patricia Nagel told me where they were. They were both, I think they were both on Highway 71. We went to Camp Elbow and then took a left up to Columbus, which is where, those of you that don't know, Columbus landed and thought he was in India, but he came to Texas as quick as he could, and that's where he established.
That's where he established Columbus, Texas.
A camp, yes, Columbus.
Rangers win last night. They're half game back. We do the Astros update since we're talking about First State Bank. Still 1.5 up on the Mariners because I think the Mariners were off last night.
And I loved it because the bank signs over in those smaller communities, they say friendliest bank anywhere. Super nice.
It does here too.
And they looked, and they got the little blue diamond, FSB on it. Very cool.
Yeah, Rangers ended up sweeping Toronto, I think, 9-2 in the final.
It's Toronto.
Toronto just didn't look good.
There's no O on the end. It's Toronto.
Struggling. Canada's all
Canada.
They were all thinking that Toronto had a chance, and it's just not going to happen.
Did Con Air make it back to Trudeau back?
I don't know that it has
weed,
yet. I don't
cocaine,
know that it has yet.
fentanyl.
Yeah, it's worse than that. Fentanyl. Rangers at Cleveland this weekend. The Astros at Kansas City, and where are the Mariners? The Mariners are hosting the Dodgers. So there's your Astros update.
Mariners could get beat this weekend. Mariners could get beat. Who do we play?
Kansas City, but we just lost 2 or 3 to Oakland, and we're playing probably the third worst team in the major leagues in Kansas City.
But we're on the road. We're on the road. We'll win. We don't.
Kansas City is
the worst team. They're already eliminated. We don't want home field advantage in the World Series.
No,
we want to play on the road as much as we can.
Yep. They are the worst team in baseball by winning percentages. 46-101. The A's are 46-100.
Man, all I can say is bless their hearts because many of you remember, and I was there when the Astros were this team. 46-101. But I want you to go back.
Well, the Astros was 105, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Royals, with a couple weeks left, they could be on pace to lose 110.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But let's go back because I'm going to say 2015, the Royals won it. They won the World Series just a couple of years ago. You would think, look at being like a Cowboys fan. Look how we've watched the Cowboys get a little better every year, and they're just kind of putting the pieces together, and they got a chance to make a run. The Royals won. The Washington Nationals won. The Red Sox last time won. So you're at the point where the Astros are in rarefied air, right there with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Yankees, and the Atlanta Braves as teams that have put together a consistent run of more than 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
The Astros are
Yankees.
legit.
Don't forget the Yankees.
I didn't. I mentioned the Yankees.
Okay.
Rewind the tape, Fred. I mentioned the Yankees.
Zach Greinke was the ace of that staff in 15, and he's 1 in 15 this year.
Well, he sucks, and the Astros picked a great time to get rid of him. Dawn called that. T-Lac called that 2 years ago. She said, Zach's done.
Yep.
Number one, Greinke never really – when Justin Verlander's on the mound, he looks like he's cherishing that moment like it could be his last start ever. He wants to compete. He's fired up. He's aggressive. Zach Greinke looks like he's on Quaaludes. Tell me he doesn't. He's out there, and he's always been that way.
Yeah.
And he's a very quirky guy, very cerebral guy. Baseball's already the smartest players in professional sports play baseball. Followed by
224 and 156. He's won as many games as Verlander over his career.
Oh, yeah, he's a great player. Maybe arguably a Hall of Famer. Maybe arguably a Hall of Famer, but not with near as much.
Won the Cy Young.
Not as much elan, not as much flash. So baseball players are the smartest athletes. Second, football. Third, the NBA. So that's just the way it is.
I think you throw hockey players in there.
They're dumber?
Near the top. No, they're pretty smart.
What makes them smart? They're great athletes.
Farm boys, common sense. They don't blow their money on hookers and cocaine.
Well, in Canada,
like the NFL.
You don't have to get a hooker in Canada, right? You just, right? It's socialized. They just give you what you want.
Greinke has 10 more wins in his career than Max Scherzer.
Yeah. And he's played forever. And he's been steady for go look at his win totals. Watch this. If you just go down his wins, give me over the wins. Starting in right here. So his first couple of years, 8-5. Look, 13,
well,
16.
He's on some bad Royals teams early on.
13, 16, 10, 16, 15, 9, 6, 15, 17, 19, 13, 17, 15, 18, 10. The guy was a stud. He's with Arizona. He wins 10 and 19. He comes to us. He picks up 8. So he won 18 games in 19.
Yep.
And then he wins 3.
Well, 3-3. That was
hurt.
20. No, that was 2020. That was the
COVID year. Oh yeah, because you can't play in a park. You can get COVID if you're in a park. They should have played the games without fans.
Then 11-6. Then he goes back to the Royals, and he's gone 4-9, and now 1-15.
He's done. This will be his last year.
Yeah.
20 years in the bigs. He's got.
If he'd have hung it up after 2021,
yeah, might have been a quicker Hall of Famer.
He's 219 and 140.
So he won a ring here in 19, but it's got a trash can on one side. Yeah. Or was that 17? No, that was 19.
17.
So he does not have a ring.
He does not have a ring here.
He had a ring with the Royals. There you go. That's the Wade and Carter First State Bank of Louise.
Astros
update. The weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deal and Feed. Glorious weather. Thank you, Lord, for the rain. 74 degrees in Victoria. Mostly cloudy, heading to a high today of 90. 20% chance of rain at 8.
90?
40% chance from 10 to 11, 50% chance at 11. So should see some more showers today. Last night, we were driving in from Columbus, and it's dark, and I'm driving on 59, so I guess I'm kind of going southwest. And off to the right, kind of northeast towards Columbus, it's a lightning show that was gorgeous to watch. And I said, it's going to rain here at the house. And Caden's back there, and Caden's got his phone, his trusty phone. Nope, no rain in the forecast. We're driving up Millette Drive towards our home, and I look off, and it's all around me. Well, I said, it's going to rain here in a minute. No, sir. No, there's no rain in the forecast. We get in the house, and all of a sudden he's like, Dad, can we let the dogs in because it's raining? I'm like, yeah, man.
There's no rain in the forecast.
Here's the problem.
We had a lengthy lightning delay in the men's soccer game at UHV last night. We ended up winning 5-0 on the women's side, 7-0 on the men's side. So good start to the conference season for the Jags. Congrats. But like over an hour lightning delay on the men's game. We got 15 minutes in and then had to sit for a while.
Well, so Donnie felt sorry for the older dogs. And, they're resilient. They get up on that big old porch, and they're fine.
Underneath there, yeah.
Yeah, they're fine. But Don's like, no, it's raining. I don't want them outside. So I let them in the utility. Boy, they do. I go kennel. They go straight into the utility room. I close the door. Everything's great. This morning, Bentley had marked the refrigerator, marked the dryer, and marked something else over on the floor. And I just said, next time, Bentley, you can just deal with the elements.
Yep.
I hate a dog that pees in the house. That's why we have tile.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. I can mop it.
Well, and your other dog's eating all your carpet, so.
This segment brought to you by Fabuloso. By the way, I guarantee you they've got something at AT Deer and Feed. If you have pesky
pet odors
in your home, I guarantee you the folks at AT Deer and Feed have something to make it go away. Industrial strength. You can put it in a plane and like crop dust spray
chemtrails.
Yeah.
I don't know how much rain I got yesterday at the 2-4 because my cows have destroyed every rain gauge I've ever put out. But I would guess based on past experiences at least a half an inch. So it's good. Rained hard for a little while there, but that was good.
You have to be careful out there. I've got a good friend that was out messing with his cows, and you got to be careful. If a cow sometimes potentially on purpose pins you against your truck, I mean, it'll snap your pelvis.
Yeah. Well, a couple thousand pounds at you.
Like dancing with a fat girl. Next thing you know, you got a hip out of place.
Ricky King checking in. Greg Garcia, Justin Glass, Marvin Micker, Scott Tomko, Bob Constantine.
It's like in Top Gun. He went that way, we went this way.
Stephen Kidder. Ricky King, we're going to get to that in just a minute.
Ricky,
big deal.
Quit telling us what to do.
Stephanie Conti. Who else is in? Junior Samples, Daniel Wade White, good morning.
Stuart Martin's birthday was yesterday.
Callie Frommie, Stuart Martin, Will Vincent. Good morning, everybody.
Got a lady
Amanda Smith King. Let's see. Dawn Nicole, Greg Garcia.
Got a lady with the last name Frommie complimenting my usage of the word Elon.
She would know the word.
I mean, I just think
well educated.
I don't know though. I think
you.
The compliment could be a little bit condescending, as if maybe someone of my station, someone that the union's trying to protect, doesn't have. And does the word Elon even belong in baseball conversations?
I think she's just impressed you knew the word and could use it correctly. Regardless, it has nothing to do with anything else.
Fair enough. But impressed why? Because I'm large and loud? Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Is it because I'm buffoonish?
Yes, buffoonery exists.
Dottie Bitterly says hello, and we say hello.
It's radio. Use 2-cent words.
Right? Death by steak. What a way to go. Who died of a steak?
You might have yesterday, Greeks.
Oh, my goodness, folks. Last night. So,
although you didn't, you had the fish.
I want to tell you about the Paravita Challenge. We're doing this challenge, and it's Ash and myself and Dawn and Cheryl. And the two ladies don't really need to do much, and Ash doesn't have any weight to lose. He's spindly. He's just gristle and ribs anyway. So here's my fat butt. Now I'm trying to, get in shape and do this thing, and I'm working hard. I eat my meal like yesterday, so I'll have like 4 little pork medallions and 8 green beans and a thimbleful of
330 calories, and it's surprisingly enough. It really
is. Really good. So last night we decided,
you wouldn't think it when every restaurant in the world serves you 1,200, 1,500 calories in a meal.
Right, and there is the problem, because we decided to stop at Greeks in El Campo, like Greeks 205 downtown.
Oh, death by steak. I think he was referring to being crushed by a cow.
Oh, and I get down there. Steve Kidder says Ash went over Elon in pre-show.
That was our word for the day.
Yeah.
We challenge each other how to use a word properly in a sentence.
Folks, they had the special when I walked in, the little board there. Advertising works. Said, Redfish Pontchartrain, tonight's special. And it's like it was an oversized redfish.
You had the fish. Well, it's
blackened.
It's got to be at least 30 inches, right?
Right, but they blackened half of one redfish. I'm not exaggerating. And put this pontchartrain sauce on it over the most succulent, tender rice.
How did pontchartrain sauce?
Something the Cajuns came up with.
No, I understand that, but just the name.
Some old
I'm
lady.
thinking mud.
No,
I'm thinking mud.
Yeah.
I mean, when Lake Pontchartrain breaks the levees, New Orleans isn't awash in a sea of crystal clear water where you can see your feet when you're standing in it.
Play me a little something.
Right?
Trying to get a little Cajun music going. So that doesn't sound
it doesn't sound too Cajun, no.
I don't know. It just says Cajun Zydeco favorites. There we go. Doesn't that sound like New Orleans, folks?
That does.
Dawn says, Dawn, I had the grilled chicken, peel off rice, and roasted veggies.
You're the fish.
Yeah. I had the fish.
Lisa Poole, Tom Price checking in. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Lisa Poole.
Who else I see check in? I think Dottie Bitterly. Good morning. So, Hunter Biden yesterday.
Not guilty.
Indicted.
Not guilty. It's political, I'm telling you.
Yeah. 3 federal firearms charges relating to a gun purchase in 2018. Plea deal would have averted this trial. That fell apart. Not sure why. They really haven't talked about how come the plea deal fell apart, right?
They wanted him to plead guilty. Obviously, they don't. The plea deal always involves you pleading guilty to something, and they probably wanted him to plead guilty to some type of felony.
Well, he would have pled guilty to 2 misdemeanors. Oh, 2 misdemeanor tax violations while dropping the firearm charges.
Boy, I'd have done that.
Here's the agreement supposedly unraveled under questioning by the presiding judge over the revisions. I think here's the real problem. Hunter would have had the firearm charges dropped if he avoided trouble for 2 years. But I wonder what the definition of trouble was.
Right, for him, cocaine.
And he probably said, "There's no way I can't commit to that."
Here's the deal: the Dems now are essentially saying, now remember, this is the party. These are the people. Mike Gomez, feel free to call us. 894-4020. These are the people that want all the guns picked up. They want nobody to own weapons.
But in the meantime, they'll take gun control laws and stronger gun control laws.
So we have them. We have them. You have a questionnaire. You have to answer it truthfully. If you don't, it's a felony. The Dems pushed for that. If you lie on this, you're a felon.
If you're a habitual drug user, you can't legally buy a firearm.
So if you lie on the form, you're a felon by their rules. So you know what they're saying now? Oh, come on, man. Don't be so hard on Hunter. He was on drugs at the time.
Yeah, he has an addiction problem.
He has an addiction problem. It's not really his fault.
No, that was the spin yesterday by all the major media. Well, Hunter Biden might have bought a firearm while he had an addiction problem.
But that,
it's against the law.
We need better mental health care in this country.
Where are the gun control zealots?
Why aren't they screaming?
They should be screaming that Hunter Biden should be held to the highest standard and made an example of. Because he lied to get a firearm illegally. He went through the process legally, but he lied through it all to get it illegally. And then where are the charges coming on the gun that his late brother's wife, now his wife, girlfriend, I'm not sure exactly.
They're not together anymore.
I don't know. Threw it in the garbage. Remember that one?
She's still part of the family, though.
Outside of a, grocery store, and then they went back to try to find it, and it wasn't there. Where's that charge?
Makes no sense.
But the gun control lobbyists and zealots should be screaming at the top of their lungs for Hunter Biden to be charged and facing maximum sentencing. And it will never happen because he's a Biden.
That's exactly right. The hypocrisy runs deep, and the irony is rich. That the very folks who make such a huge deal about we need more gun control, when the gun controls are avoided by felonious lying, then they make excuses for one of their own.
Yeah.
Well, he was on drugs. Yeah. I mean, what do you want? He was on drugs.
Well, you didn't want people on drugs to buy guns. Well, he has an addiction problem.
Well, that's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
It's not like he just got high and went to buy a gun. He has a real problem.
Well, wait a second. Don't you usually equate that to mental health?
Don't.
And don't you want people him. But no, you as gun control lobbyists, you don't want people with mental health problems to be able to buy guns.
No, but he's just a quiet boy trying to straighten his life.
This is why they can't make the argument and open their mouths on this one, because their hypocrisy and the fact that they talk circles around the issue.
But you know what the real problem is, Ash?
That's why.
90% of our listeners, mostly based on his actions, you can't help it. You think of Hunter Biden as a 27-year-old post-Yale frat boy who just hasn't quite gotten on track yet. Hunter Biden is 53 years old, people. Yeah. Hunter Biden is a grown-ass man who can't manage his life. He is special. And now you've got these situations where he's violating laws. He's 53. This guy deserves to be incarcerated simply for lying.
But they're federal charges, and Dad will probably pardon them. So there's that.
And there's Gina Pena's chick. That's Mike Pena's sister, or Mike Pena's her brother. Puff and walk in, get a gun. Yeah, no kidding. You just like, you're out there and you just finally just eat the blunt, and then you walk in there.
Michelle Wilson Hawkins says, what happened? Because nobody is above the law. Well, because we know that's not true, especially when it comes to the Biden crime family. They're all above the law.
Oh, and I want to clear something up. I want to see if you agree with me. Of course, with you being an athletic director and you being so involved
Gina
in...
Pena says, how any people can manage his life. Yeah, good question. It's true.
Have you noticed that there are, just for a moment, suspend your own personal thoughts about whether marijuana should be legal or not, or if a little cannabis is that big a deal these days, all those kind of comments. Have you noticed that I think lots and lots and lots of people my age, 50s to 60s, they smoke dope. A lot of them do. But they don't smoke anymore. They eat gummies. And in their minds,
come on, man.
In their minds, edibles they're not potheads. You see what I'm saying? In their minds, I'm like
they're managing chronic pain.
I'm like, dude, do you smoke marijuana? No, gosh, no, I'm not a pothead. Boom, 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 with an edible.
Well,
You're a pothead.
because people that grew up around our generations, and we're the same generation, where you're just at the higher end of the spectrum.
We're the same age. You're just from Canada, so it's discounted a little bit.
Because everything in Canada is worth less.
Right.
Age, money, healthcare.
That little space mattered. You could have said everything in Canada is worthless, and that would have been bad. But worth less is
worth less.
Fair.
Exactly. 2 words.
Of lesser value.
No. But because back then, everybody sat around and played puff, puff, pass.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so, and there was
Bogart. He was like puff, 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 puff. Yeah.
And soaked it so nobody wanted it after him, so he got to finish it. Yeah.
Lipped it. He lipped it a little bit.
There's that guy. But there was a stigma attached to that. And that stigma still holds true for those that, and that's why they make that excuse. No, I'm no pothead.
Yeah. I went to school with lots of people that had yellow fingers. I'm like, man, just do something.
But here's the problem I have with that. Because it's not, I don't believe it can be prescribed in Texas, right? Can it, medicinal marijuana?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Can be. Should be able to be.
But many are not seeking that route. They're self-medicating. I have problems with people that, and self-medication is not the way to go. People.
I've got 10 pounds of weed in my trunk. That's a lot of weed. I got a lot of pain. Yeah. I'm in a lot of, you know how long I've been married? By the way, I want to give a special shout out today for those of you that Dawn did the world a favor 6 years ago tomorrow. She took me off the market. And she begged, she pleaded. She got a note from her principal so that we could get married. But happy anniversary to the honest love of my life. She's the best thing to happen to me. So happy anniversary, sweetheart. She's already back home in bed. She's off today, so she's not even listening to this. But
no,
I love her very much. Very blessed to have Dawn in my life. We're getting chastised by the trash company. White Trash Services says, didn't see Wade and Carter at the chamber luncheon yesterday. Representative Morrison did a great job of legislative recap. Well, you see, White Trash Services, we get personal phone calls from Jeannie Morrison. We know what's going on. We didn't have to go to the luncheon. Plus, there's nothing there on my Para Vita diet.
Yeah, that's the basis.
Right, that's the basis. Cookies? I don't want cookies. Allen's Record Service, 578-6300. Look at that. I got back on. What did you say? Nothing, sweetheart.
Adam Sugar says, don't self-medicate, trust the VA. Ash. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Adam would never self-medicate.
That's not the song.
What were you trying to play?
I was trying to play 7-Year Ache by Roseanne Cash for you.
No, I don't have a 7-year ache. I'm a very blessed man. You know, I tell you that all the time. I'm a very blessed man.
Ditto, 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 ditto.
Absolutely.
No,
yeah, you're lucky Dawn married me too.
Yep.
I'd be in a gutter somewhere eating
or
gummies.
at my house every night.
Right? Still. Stanley's like, is he coming over? Is he coming over? Can we have Stan cakes?
Yeah, sure. I'll be like, is he coming over again?
God, is he coming over again? Doesn't he have a life?
Got rid of the kids and the grocery bill, still $400 a month.
Got Brent. He just lays on the sofa. Alan's Rigger Service 578-6300. He can pull you out of the ditch. He can help you. Be careful. The roads are wet this morning. Some of them are wet.
Yeah, can pull everything out of the ditch but this show.
You got to realize that when you're driving around in Victoria and it hadn't rained for weeks and weeks and weeks, the oil, then the dust sticks to the oil, then the rain comes and the roads get very, very slick. Be careful. It's like black ice.
It is.
Ice, baby.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun,
I'll never forget his explanation
ding,
of that.
Ding. What did he say?
Well, basically, it was like, well, Queens goes dun 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 dun. Dun.
No, he
Mine
stole
goes
that.
dun 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 dun. It was like there was no. I mean, it was trying to make a
stole it.
difference on why he was able to sample it. They don't steal it; they sampled it.
Right. The VCS companies for all your communication needs. Get by and sample the new iPhone 15. Apple catching a little flack, saying that innovation has ceased. That it's just a new package of the same.
Well,
guts.
with the USB-C charger, because Europe told Apple, no more of this proprietary charger stuff. You've got to go with a common charger that everybody has.
Hey, and good
in their,
for Europe.
in their junk drawer. And in order to comply and not make two different models, one with the USB-C and one for, to preserve their capitalistic,
you'll
let's make
recall
money at all costs.
the last time that I bought a phone, they gave me the cord, but they didn't give me the cube. Yeah. Can you imagine buying a $1,000 phone and it doesn't come with a complete charging kit? Can you imagine going and buying a handheld battery Braun toothbrush and they don't give you the base? Oh, you buy that over there. It's $39.95.
Oh, you mean like going to buy a washing machine or a dryer and they don't give you the power cord?
Right.
That's what they do.
It's crazy town.
You got to buy the power cord.
You buy the VCS companies, they can solve all those problems for you at the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer right there on Kerr Boulevard.
Yeah, they'll help you make up for the fact that Apple's just greedy.
Chesnick Furniture, 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge, for 100 years, 105 now. Been selling furniture to Victorians. There you go. Reach out to Chesnick. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. You just always do better at Chesnick.
Always.
Today's your last day to eat the best Mexican food in town until Monday.
Yeah, I went in on called on Wednesday, got called to go. So
You told me you got like a double dip.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. Veracruz, fantastic. Open late tonight, 10 o'clock tonight. Go by and, have some nachos and a cold beer. Watch the Astros. It'll be on. You can bet on it.
Absolutely.
Veracruz. It's not a sports bar. It's a restaurant. Go by. And then Palace Bingo, the 26th on my
Brent's
birthday.
Brent's birthday bingo.
Surprise birthday party for Brent. Don't tell anybody. No gifts over $50. And come on in. We're gonna. I think on my birthday, Dawn might let me have one little piece of cake. Yeah, could happen. Probably not.
Probably not, but we'll make sure it happens.
Come by and see us. Go down. So here's what you do. Go by, get your feet rubbed. There's a massage place over
Just
there.
a couple doors down.
Sure, it's just feet. Gray Barn Mercantile. Take those happy
Shop-
toes
yep,
and walk
shop
down
till
to
you
Gray
drop.
Barn Mercantile. And then stroll down 50 yards to Paravita and have a beautiful lunch.
Or take it to go and enjoy it at home. Heat it up.
And it's a handmade, home-cooked meal. And whether you want chicken, buffalo chicken, herb chicken,
Pork.
salmon, herb-crusted salmon, yada, yada, all kinds of vegetables, you can have them make it custom while you're there. They'll
Meatless,
make you-
vegetable, tofu. They do
bowls.
I had the egg roll bowl the other day. It was really good.
You said it
That
was
for
good.
supper. It was very good. And Cheryl had their vegetable lasagna, and I tried a little bit of that. That was really good too.
Honestly, still going to be about $10. It ain't no different than going to Whataburger, any place else.
And you know what? On par with all of those meal prep places that deliver boxes to your home, and then you still have to cook it.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, probably cheaper than that, to be
Oh, yeah.
honest.
Oh, yeah. Free delivery ain't free.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
mentioned
right
ads and
around $10 a meal. And it's good.
AJ's Detailing. Check out AJ on Facebook. He's always got something working.
Always got something working.
Fantastic. Did Stuart Martin check in?
Andy Rokovich says he can't wait for bingo night. He'll get you 2 beers.
There you go. They give you 2 beers when you check in. You can play for $15. And Wade and Carter listeners win every time.
At least
the majority of the games.
Yeah. I think on a bad night, 30% of the winners are Wade and Carter listeners that are there.
That's right.
On a bad night.
That's right. And Gina Pena works there. I didn't. Gina,
On a really bad night, I'm splitting the pot with 34 others.
That was weird, wasn't it? It's weird how that so often you have one winner and it's really early in the game. Like, you don't even have 5 numbers, bingo. Bingo. Okay. All right. On one night, it was a $150 game and like 30 people won. Ash got with the taxes.
35 people. It's burned. It's etched in my memory.
What'd you get? $4.
$4 and change.
28 cents.
That's all I got.
Unbelievable.
Well, there were a couple of non-bingos last time we were there. Remember, I think 2 people in 2 different games called bingo. Oops, that's not a good bingo. Let's keep playing.
And they have the weirdest things they say. Let's play this damn game.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either, but they say it.
And then he'll say something like, if you have a good bingo, let me know. Like, okay, like I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. I'm just going to sit here.
You start to say bingo. No, don't say it.
No.
No bingo.
I want to win. I don't want the money. I just want to win bingo.
Right. No,
I don't want the IRS to come after me. They already got their 10%, don't worry.
The food is excellent.
Yeah, it really is.
Really, really good. I don't mean like excellent for like a bar or excellent for like what you would expect a bingo parlor to be. I mean, their cheeseburger is good.
Yeah.
You've had it.
I have had it.
Patty melt.
Yeah, Junior Samples bingo twice one game. He had 2 different winning cards.
Yeah.
Split it with himself.
Cheater. Yeah, and then he complained. He split it with
I
himself.
just split it with somebody.
I only got half the money. Meathead.
Oh, where else are we going? What else are we going to talk about this morning?
We need to get the Junior Samples urethra update.
No, we don't. We really don't. No.
Catheter.
Yeah.
Little pain.
So NASA finally released a report on its first report on the unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs.
That's what they call them now. They don't call them UFOs.
No.
It's not necessarily a flying object.
And their findings suggest that UAPs have an extraterrestrial origin. Really?
They've decided.
Because we didn't know that for the last however many hundreds of years that, I mean, there's petroglyphs on cliffs of people looking up at the sky at something flying. We've seen these things
So you believe
for
in UFOs?
centuries. Huh?
You do believe in UFOs?
Yeah.
Like foreign little green people?
I don't know if they're little green people. They might be little gray people with big eyes.
Why would they be people at all? That's what gets me.
They're
Because
not.
here's the deal.
We're people.
We slinked up out of the salt water onto the shore, and our skin dried, our scales sloughed off, and our skin dried. And then over time, over centuries of failing and lizards crawling over lizards and frogs emoting, we learned to walk upright. And then over time, our heads became smaller and our frames became lighter so that we could walk more erect. And now, by golly, we have microphones and we can do all kinds of things because we evolved from the sea. In other news, you're an idiot if that's what you believe. But somehow, in every depiction ever, the UFO, well, I saw it clearly with my own eyes. It landed and a hydraulic ramp came down and a guy walked out and he was wearing Air Jordans and they took me on there and they had sex with me. They did, I'm telling you, and it wasn't comfortable at all and I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. And you're like,
do it again just to see if I like it.
Come on, man. Come on. Why are they always smarter than us, more advanced than us? And why do they have to look somewhat like us? He had an elongated head. He looked a lot
big eyes. He looked like Kate Moss when she's on Coke.
Really? He looked like AOC. AOC, by the way, is a lizard.
Well, why are they more advanced and smarter than us? Because apparently they have flying machines that can't be detected by any of our conventional detection systems. They're kind of like Chinese spy balloons.
Right. That's what it is. They're out there and they're smarter than us. How do we know? Because we can't see them.
They fly in ways that nothing that we've invented can fly.
Which means we have glitches in our electrical systems on our airplanes.
Which means we're just not smart enough. But no, I believe in it because my mom told me a story. She saw a UFO one night. And
your mother was a heroin addict. So. Look, Scott Tomko says Mexico examples look like ET. I saw one yesterday. And somebody put on there, oh, that's a pinata. But it was a little dude, like about this big, no kidding, like 18 inches. And he had 3 fingers. And on one of his fingers, I'm telling you, he had a ring. He had a ring. So not only did they get married, but they understood that this symbol is the eternal love. The gold is pure, like your heart. Come on, man. I ain't buying that stuff.
And he's so happily married, he's leaving his solar system for ours.
He left his solar system to get away from her. Ricky King says AOC is a snake.
Steve Kidder says they can't drive where I'm not buying that, Steve. They traverse universes.
Do you remember when
and we don't have any, we have never caught 2 UFOs crashing somewhere in the solar system on a telescope somewhere. So you would think if they're bad drivers, there would be a wreck that we could see on a telescope, but it just doesn't happen.
Junior says the aliens all laugh at my chicken legs. You remember that Indiana Jones movie when James Earl Jones turned into a snake? He was the king.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And all of a sudden his arms went in, and then his head elongated, and he turned into a serpent.
Catherine Imes says 18 inches and 3 fingers. It's like the little alien guy from the movie Mac and Me in the 80s.
That's all it was. It was a prop. Hello, Catherine Imes.
But yeah, no, I believe in it.
Do you really?
Something's got. I mean, we can't be.
Got to believe in something.
We can't be the only ones. If our solar system, if there are solar systems outside our galaxy, then there's no way we're the only ones. Why are you way over there?
Well, see, here's what I think. You want to know what I really think, or what I've always accepted as being possible?
Please.
Is when people say to themselves, well, you know, someday they look at God and they say, how are we supposed to know that you were the supreme being, that you were the guy? He's like, well, your moon, it wasn't made of cheese, and Mars didn't have any water on it. Have you looked at all the other planets that are out there on the Hubble telescope? And all they are is rocks. All they are is rocks. Some of them seem to have like Saturn. They have things of gas and rings and things that go on.
The best we can come up with is they could have sustained life at some point.
Maybe. and here we are. We've never, ever, ever found another place that had any form of life on it. But yet we believe that we somehow crawled up on the shore, developed legs.
Because we don't have the superior intellect to do it.
Right. It's so Canadian, folks. It's so socialist upbringing to believe we're not capable. We can't be the best. We can't be God's creation. There's the little
that's what we're just going to get to, because this ties
so
into
funny.
what
They've
we're
got
doing.
him like in a little casket. Look at him. It's on a pillow. It looks like E.T. But look, he's got our legs, hip bones, rib cage.
Pelvis. That's got to be a female. I don't know. Do aliens have identity crisis?
I don't know. A transgender alien. That's where God laughs and then shakes his head and then he's sad. You know, if the music wasn't so annoying, I would play that.
I mean, the hearing was in Mexico, but I believe Peruvians were the ones.
You know, you do have an interesting
discovered
point, though.
This.
I do often wonder about some of these sites, the Aztecs, the
Mayan
Egyptians,
temples,
the Mayans,
Stonehenge.
And Stonehenge doesn't really intrigue me that much. It's a bunch of rocks out in the middle of nowhere. If you went there, you'd be so disappointed.
Yeah, but
it's like,
think of the machines we need to lift rocks like that into place.
The rocks weren't
they didn't
from
exist,
that
and they're
area.
not anywhere from there.
So that is always interesting to me.
That's called glacial till.
But you know, Ash and I are fans of it. I'm going to recommend it to y'all. It'll make you laugh. It's a website called t-shirthell.com. T-shirthell.com. There are some funny. There's like a picture of, it's obviously Kiss, and they're all like, and they're doing their fingers. It's Kiss. And underneath it says Led Zeppelin. Yeah. You know, there's a picture of Jimi Hendrix underneath. It's all in rainbow and yellow. And underneath it says Bob Marley. It's funny stuff. There's a T-shirt on there that says, slavery gets things done. It's meant to be offensive and humorous and tongue-in-cheek. But that's the only way you can explain the Great Pyramids. I don't know how. They took pieces of stone that are literally the size of a school bus. It's kind of like if I have a really heavy object in my house and me and you and Caden and Rylan all get a hand on it, we can move it. There's not enough places to put hands to lift this rock.
And nobody was going to volunteer to build those things.
And everybody makes it seem like, oh, well, what they did see is they used these rolling timbers and they used leverage and long ramps. And truth is, they had a lot of time.
Hemp ropes.
Yeah. They had a lot of time.
Decades. Junior Sample says giants were lifting those rocks.
Yeah, well, you just always wonder why so many things are so similar on other continents amongst people that did not interact.
Well, because there was one big continent at the time.
I don't know that.
No, I don't know either. Not at that time. Long before that.
Will Vincent Jr. is incorrect. Says James Earl Jones was never in an Indiana Jones movie. He was in the one where they...
Steve Killer says unless you have a spaceship with a hitch.
Do you remember the one where the snake, where the guy was the snake and slithered off? James Earl Jones is in that movie, and all the little kids are freed. The little... they were dumping the kids into the little pot. Yeah, check it out. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. There it is right there.
I'm asking the question.
Ask it. The obvious one is by James Earl Jones at the Gross Out full cast and crew. Go right here and see if he was in it.
Well, you're thinking if he's in this movie, he's getting better billing than way at the bottom.
I do not know that. Go back and find it. I don't think I'm in. Don't y'all remember he had the robe on? And he becomes a snake. I'm losing my mind.
Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
There you go. Indiana Jones of the Forbidden Eye.
There you go.
1995. Wasn't the most popular in the series.
No, probably one of the worst. I don't think I saw that one, to be honest.
I'm not sure if I did either.
There you go. So he wasn't one.
There you go. Ooh.
What?
Will Vincent could be correct. It could have been from Conan the Barbarian. I think you're right. Was it Conan or Conan?
Scott Tomko says the same thing. Daniel Wade White says the same thing.
I stand corrected.
But it appears he was in that Indiana Jones movie.
I don't know, but I was wrong because the scene I was thinking of was. Thank you for the fact check. Well done. Well done, folks. Indiana Jones, new Indiana Jones series coming out, I think, also.
Is there?
I think so.
Can't Hollywood ever come up with something original?
No, they can't anymore because they don't have writers.
Yeah.
The writers are done.
They're on strike. Auto worker. They have no way to get there because the auto workers are on strike.
Maybe the writers could build cars. Get by the chopping block today, Friday afternoon.
It should be beef rib Friday, and hopefully Dino ribs are on the menu.
Ribs.
They're so good.
Armor Air 5790966. Let Armor Air help you. Make sure you beat the heat.
Wait, it's only going to be 90 today.
Now's a good time to get them to come by and check your heater coil.
You don't want that thing blowing too hot in your house, but they'll get that thing to kick it up a couple degrees, and then you'll see if your AC works.
White Trash Services, 550-1826, whether you need weekly trash pickup or dumpsters or a roll-off dumpster, demolition services.
They've got it all. And they can do it all. In Victoria County, it's contiguous.
They monitor chamber luncheons. Get hooked up with BJ Nelson. We need to get her in here.
Need a school board update. Yep. USA Concrete Coating, give them a call, 578-HOME. You've got a drab slab, they'll transform it into something slabulous.
We got to get BJ in here before all the power and the money and all of that of being on the school board, before that corrupts her. You know what I mean?
Before she starts taking her family members
to private
on board
beaches.
Excursions with her.
Yeah.
To introduce them to people who can.
On private jets, closes down Port O'Connor, and then she's the only one at Speedy Stop.
That's right.
It could happen. The Chris Christie of the school board. Wow. Is he still running for president, Chris Christie?
I believe he still is, yes.
Never seen a fatter man. Went services, went generators, went for all your electrical needs. Went. Done went. It's Friday.
Give them a call.
Call them.
Yep, stop by. They can do all your electrical stuff. They can do all your emergency backup generators. Awesome.
Will Vincent's 100% correct.
Yeah,
he
was
says
king of the
yummy
snake.
beef ribs.
Yeah.
They are so gorgeous, and they're just huge. Wilma! It's like something Fred Flintstone would eat.
Would have flipped over the car. Yep, it's the ones.
Yep.
So,
Dun, 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 dun. You'll have a gay old time.
the best part of that theme, and the Brady Bunch one was the same way. They could slow it down and make it sad. They could pick it up to make it happy and celebratory. It was so.
Yeah, they'd play the music during the show.
Wah, 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 wah.
Saw one the other day. Fred and Barney. They'd gone. They wanted an extra vehicle for the family so that they could all ride together, and they went to an auction. And Fred put some super glue. This guy was eating popcorn, and this guy Fred would go $50. The guy goes $75. So Fred goes, "Hey Barney, watch this." Puts a little super glue in the guy's popcorn. The guy's going, he couldn't talk. Fred bought the car. Well, it was a mobster car. There was money held in it.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was in the front wheel, the concrete wheel, the roller wheel.
awesome.
Yeah, and they got chased for a
I
while,
don't know
shot
if I've
at.
seen that one.
Yeah, it's
I've
good.
just seen 88 Fingers Louie.
Dino was in there with him.
Yeah, speaking of Stone Age folks, Mitt Romney finally hanging it up, announcing he will not seek re-election.
And the Dems are sad for him.
Yeah.
The same Dems that vilified him in 2012 when he ran for president.
Called him a racist.
Called him a racist.
The same Dems that called Donald Trump a loser for losing the election to Joe Biden don't refer to the guy that never won a presidential election as a loser.
And I'll tell you something else the other day. You know that deal we did a while back, or the soundbite deal where the media kept calling whatever the term was,
Yeah.
they used it over and over. There was a deal the other day, and I'm not exaggerating, folks. It was a 30-minute video. I kept scanning forward because I thought there's got to be a point. I kept going forward. All it was multiple television appearances of Hillary Clinton whining that the election was stolen from her.
Yeah.
And yet they're going, why can't Donald Trump just accept the results? The election wasn't stolen. Hillary Clinton said, why can't Donald Trump just accept it? The election wasn't stolen from him. But she went off the rails. It was stolen election. He's not a validated president. He's not the real deal.
How about, and Mitt Romney in it, I think it was like a 20-minute speech announcing his departure. It was ridiculously long.
Oh, yeah. He had to pontificate.
Yeah, so stupid. But he called upon the next generation of leaders to fix the climate crisis,
He's been there 40 years. Why didn't he fix it?
to solve all of the issues in the runaway spending. Dude, your policy making created these problems.
Yeah.
Mitt's just passing the buck because that's what rhinos do.
Wow.
He's paraded as a conservative for his entire career when in fact he really hasn't been conservative. He's been Republican because that's the ticket he's ran on, but he sure as heck hasn't been the conservative he's portrayed himself as as a conservative LDS man from Utah who somehow managed to get elected as governor in Massachusetts.
Like you said, if you can get a Mormon elected governor in Massachusetts, there's some big money behind that guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of, as we refer to it, chicanery.
Steve Kidder says, I'll take Romney as president over Obama and Biden. Scott Tomko said, Pelosi's running for another term. Tito's has already given $1 million to her campaign.
I'm not sure.
Because she drinks that much vodka. That's the joke there, folks.
Romney over Obama, Biden, and what? That was 12, right?
Right.
So he would have had to try to unseat the incumbent, which is hard to do unless you're Bush or Trump or you fix an election, steal it, create a pandemic so that you can mess around with election laws. But even then, I remember Romney was only the guy because he was just the guy left standing. There was really in 12, no.
Yeah, so
there was
Obama
nobody
beat
in
McCain,
12,
right? Is what
in
you
08,
said.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we'd be better off as a country with Romney. I don't know. I don't know where we would be, because now that you have the ability to look back, and hindsight's always 20/20. Romney was a snake in the weeds.
Mine's a little blurry, even looking back. Oh yeah, he's always been a snake. But I was visiting with someone the other day that I respect, and we just don't think big enough. There's so much money involved and so much power involved. We don't think big enough when we think about the stuff. And like, for example, this individual said, I believe that one day it will come out that the pandemic of COVID was put on the American people purposely to affect the election. That election was that important to them that they were willing to do anything. 1 million people. And guess what? They got rid of a bunch of old people. What happened?
So
got them off Medicare. Got them off all that.
But do these people believe? I mean, so in order to be a pandemic that benefited only the United States and didn't terrorize the entire world, somehow the U.S. had to be in bed with China to develop
somehow
SARS-CoV-2 and then release it into the world?
Your man Fauci hiding in plain sight. Your friend Fauci, National Institutes of Health gave him $3 million to help develop the virus. That's public record. It's not even made up.
No, that's true.
So there you go. You got a cheery note to end the week.
Go Cowboys.
Cowboys
play the Jets.
Jets. Jets.
Aaron Rodgers-less Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
$37.5 million to rehab an Achilles. Cut mine tomorrow. I'll be at the Healthplex every day, sitting in the pool. What are you doing? Rehabbing.
Those of you heading to Vegas this weekend, you might want to stay away from any of the MGM resort properties.
Why?
Apparently, cyber hackers have hacked them up, asking for $15 million in cyber ransom. Pay the damn cyber ransom. It's nothing.
Right. And you know what? There's honor.
Oh, no, that was Caesars. Caesars got hacked and paid $15 million.
When they pay, the cyber guys let them go. Yeah. That's kind of they've got like a little bit of honor. They're like, well, if you pay us, we'll let you go. Because if they ever don't, then nobody would pay them. $15 million sounds like some 8-year-old got a hold of a computer.
Yeah. Inoperable. Well, they're a bunch of 19 to 22-year-olds. Scattered Spider
like
is
Austin
the
Powers
cyber group.
I won $1 million.
Hey, if they get $1 million from 30 people,
hey, we got to get out of here.
That's pretty good.
It's a Friday, folks. We're gone. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Be good to each other. Stay safe.
Safe travels on the roads this weekend, and we'll see y'all on Monday.
God bless. We'll
Bye,
see
folks.
you Monday. Bye, folks.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around.